Something smells good.
Yeah. You remember that wonderful soup our friend Jane made for us the other day?
It was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah, she wrote the recipe down.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I have recreated it. Yes, sirree. Now, I want you to taste it and see if I have done her recipe justice.
Did you miss something out of it?
I don't think so.
Well, did you read the recipe?
I was watching when she was writing it down.
Well, congratulations, you've just made Jane's famous chicken soup without the chicken.
Well, I happen to like it better without the chicken.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hi everybody and welcome to another edition of One Chef One Critic. I'm Karl Wells, food critic for the Telegram.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Dairies.
Well, Steve, I'll admit I made a little boo-boo there, but why is it so important to read recipes?
Well, it may seem like the obvious, Karl, but when reading a recipe, you should follow it from start to finish, because you may get to that critical point and you forgot to put an ingredient out or collect an ingredient and things like that. Or there could be a point where you would like to mix two ingredients together just to save time instead of having 2 or 3 pots on the stove. So very, very important to read the recipe from start to finish.
Yeah, and I guess it's also a good idea to make sure you've got the right amount of whatever the ingredient happens to be.
Absolutely,
because,
yeah.
You know, a lot of times, we'll just open a bottle and put in what we feel a recipe requires. But depending on what the ingredient is, I mean, it can really...
Very important for baking, I must tell you.
Yes, that's right, and it can add a lot of heat to a dish or whatever else. And of course, for baking, it's critically important because baking is chemistry, folks, and you're working with a formula, and unless you follow it exactly, you're not going to get a good result.
You're not at all.
All good advice. Thank you, Stephen. Coming up in the program today, our guest is the renowned chef Jeremy Charles of Raymond's and the Merchant Tavern restaurants on Water Street here in St. John's. And what will we be preparing with Jeremy today?
Well, we know Jeremy likes rustic dishes, so I'm going to be making some blue mussels, and we're going to be steaming them Thai style. So it's going to be quite simple for
excellent.
Yeah. So he'll be able to chat to us.
Good Newfoundland seafood. Also in the program today, we have Chef Mark McCrowe with us, and he's going to be doing a seafood boil for us. So maybe there'll be some mussels there too. Who knows? Stay tuned. For a complete listing of One Chef One Critic recipes, wine lists, and more, check out our website. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-9600. And we're back with Chef Jeremy Charles of Raymond's and the Merchant Tavern. Welcome.
Thank you,
Jeremy. It's great to have you at the stove with us today.
Well, it's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
We have something I know you like, mussels.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have another chef on the show, actually, Jeremy, so that's fantastic. So what we've got here, as you can see, and you're well used to as well, some beautiful blue mussels, the first organic mussels in North America, as you know, from Trinity Bay, and they only came out of the water yesterday. So, and I know you like fresh, so we're going to make them quite simply, just Thai style, a little bit of heat there, and I'm going to put a little bit of fennel, and then we'll put a little bit of lime juice in as well. And Karl's going to grill some bread for us with a little bit of virgin olive oil, and away we go. So
I can do that.
Yeah.
What a treat.
So I'll just put a little bit of olive oil in there, and I'll let you saute the onions up. Sure. Start, and I'm going to cook some fennel up, and away we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah,
Perfect.
Now, Jeremy, you have been described as one of the most important chefs in Canada.
Wow, yeah.
That's quite a comment, eh? How does it feel to be regarded as a star chef?
I'm a pretty easygoing person, and I've been fortunate to have some accolades and whatnot, but just trying to do what we do, celebrate Newfoundland food, and just really, it's always an honor when you hear people, make comments like that. But,
exactly.
and
it brings some honor to the province as well, doesn't it?
It's kind of nice to showcase what we're doing here, and to showcase Newfoundland and our unique province, and all the special things we have to bring to the table, and that's what we try to do every day. And again, when people enjoy what we're doing and talk about what we're doing, that's an accomplishment for me and our team, and I think, for Newfoundland in the end. So.
Well, one thing that happens too is that you do inspire young chefs, and I guess a lot of those young chefs kind of come knocking to your door wanting to be mentored by you or wanting to have the experience of working with Jeremy Charles. Has that been happening at all?
Yeah, no, we've over the last few years, especially with all the recognition of the restaurant, we had a lot of young people coming to Raymond's, to the back door, or emails or whatnot from all around Canada and North America, wanting to have that experience, what we're doing and dealing with Newfoundland product, and so it's a lovely thing, because I was a young chef at one point in time, you want to get those experiences and get in the door.
Into it, right?
Just get your foot in the door there to see what's going on, and that's it's great to go to school, but it's wonderful to go to a restaurant and see how they're doing it and what they're doing. It's a great thing. So we're happy to be able to offer that as much as we can.
So how many people do you have actually in the brigade then?
We're about around 8, and it can flux to about 10 during really busy seasons. With our tasting menus, 5 and 7 courses, it's a lot of plates going on. Everything's from scratch. Everything comes from the ground here or from the ocean, and it takes a lot of hands to make that prep and to execute the menu properly, and so it's a lot of work.
Jeremy, how do you nurture your own professional and personal development?
I kind of take it a day at a time, but again, just try to focus on what we're doing at hand, and again, just been really fortunate to be doing what we're doing. I love to be cooking, and I'm very passionate about what we're doing at Raymond's.
Well, that's good. And I'm just going to go off topic a little bit now, and I want to ask you this question. When you were a kid, you had the nickname Tasmanian Devil. Or Taz.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
Wow, that's a good
How did you get that tag?
Now you want to know how we found that out.
Yeah. Who have you been talking to? Yeah. Well, as a young kid growing up in Mount Pearl, I played a lot of hockey, and through Adam and Pee Wee, and I really enjoyed skating, and just I'd be out there just, I guess, like the Tasmanian Devil, just running wild, and that was one of my favorite things to do, was get on the ice and just really enjoy playing hockey. It's one of my passions. But anyhow, one of my coaches was Gary Martin or Derm Conley, I think, and anyhow, that nickname kind of stuck with me for quite a while.
So you were actually scouted for to play Junior A hockey, right? And who was it that scouted you?
It was in Port Colborne, Kingsman, John Kopanak. We're at a tournament in Welland, Ontario, and we were playing bantam hockey, and I was fortunate to have a good tournament, and I was got a phone call, and before I knew it, I was 15 years old, living in Port Colborne, playing Junior B hockey in the Golden Horseshoe, and again, that was quite a great experience for me, and you grow up pretty quick,
You're a very all-around athlete, because you were selected to play for Soccer NL as well, right?
I was
the team.
I played soccer in the summers, hockey in the winter, and then I was fortunate to be part of the Canada Games program, and it's one of those things that kept you fit. You met so many wonderful people, all the travel and wonderful exercise, and it was. I was very fortunate to be able to play at that level. Still got a lot of great friends.
Okay, I'm going to let you relax now. I'm not going to pull out any more surprises. we can go back to the culinary stuff now.
Okay.
So what did we do there? We just put a little bit of Thai chili sauce in there, some coconut milk, and then we'll just put our mussels in there for a little bit, and then...
Can we move that forward a bit?
Just a little bit there. Perfect. It's always nice, as you say, to be working with fresh and local, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Beautiful.
That'll be it.
Nice one.
Jerry, how would you describe your cuisine these days? Because I know it's an evolving process.
Yeah, again, I hate saying the word local, but we're just really, again, since we've opened Atlantica and Raymond's, everything's evolved, and it's become simplified, and just really focusing on 1 or 2 ingredients and flavors, and just letting those really showcase and shine.
Capitalize on it.
And not trying to make too many things and play confusing, just simple, beautiful food.
What about cultural influences? Have you been influenced by anything you've seen or experienced elsewhere?
as a young chef working in Montreal, I had a strong base for, Quebec, French, Italian styles of food, and I love working with pastas and, pan-seared fish and yeah, it's those little simple memories. I think they really shine through in the food, but also, again, as you grow and also travel the world and places like Italy and Australia, you adapt, new styles, and it just makes you think about what you're doing and how you can, work with Newfoundland ingredients and transform them in different ways that you never really thought you could do. So.
Now, when you were young, your mom used to cook a particular dish for you and your buddies a lot. What was that dish?
Well, I'm trying to think. It was a chicken tetrazzini or lasagna. I do know that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was a staple for in her repertoire for sure.
Pasta dish, anyway.
Yeah. Chicken tetrazzini, I gotta say, is definitely. My friends would come over after ball hockey or being out beating the streets, and we'd have that on the table for sure.
Cool. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about world travel. I know you've been to many countries. Is there one particular country or one particular experience you had outside of Canada that really impressed you?
I mean, I gotta say, I was in Australia last month, and that was a trip of a lifetime. Just the trip alone, getting down there was a long haul, but it was a wonderful experience. Beautiful people, and the food was just fantastic.
A lot of similarities, one island to another island, really. Isn't it?
Yeah,
although
no,
it's a much
for
larger
sure.
island.
It really did feel a lot like Newfoundland or Canada. It was. It was a great experience.
Well, okay, I think we're ready. I'm going to go to the wine cellar and meet your buddy Jeremy Bonia of Raymond's and the Merchant Tavern, and see what kind of wine he's going to select for us.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
I look forward to it.
Well, Jeremy, we're just going to let these mussels now steam for about 4 to 5 minutes. We've got the coconut milk in there, some Thai chili, and some fennel, so I think the marriage of flavours will be fine.
Perfect. I look forward to it.
Hi, Jeremy. Well,
hi, Karl.
This is the Raymond's Merchant Tavern show today.
The takeover show.
We've got Jeremy Charles cooking upstairs, and we've got you selecting wine. So that's pretty cool. And, of course, as you know, we're cooking Thai chili mussels.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of mussels.
With a little bit of spice to it as well.
Little kick.
Yeah, so the thing with any kind of spice in your dish that you're having, you got to watch alcohol. Keep it low. Don't go too high because alcohol will intensify that spice and maybe make something hot, really hot. So we do low alcohol wines. These are 2 Rieslings that I have and a red option as well from Spain. But the Rieslings from 2 different countries. Vineland Estates, semi-dry Riesling from Niagara. Great Canadian Riesling. A little bit of sweetness, good acidity, very well balanced, really nice to start off. Dr. Heidelmann's Bergwalder Grackle Himmelreich Riesling Spätlese 2012. I know, it's a mouthful.
I have no idea what you just said.
The Germans are the
But
best
you said
wine
it very
labelers.
well.
They tell you everything you need to know on the bottle.
Yeah.
Grackle Himmelreich is the name of the town and the vineyard.
Oh.
It's Riesling, the grape, and Spätlese just means it's late harvest. So when you see that, you kind of know it's
A
little sweet. It's going to have a little bit more, and when the first sip is going to seem very sweet compared to anything else you've had.
Yes.
The second sip, you realize how much acidity it is, and the sweetness is more of a texture thing with these wines. It's full-bodied and viscous, and I think it holds up well, especially for something like you're having. The other option for red, for those who don't like white, Ellis Mora. This is Tinta de Toro. This is from Spain. Grapefruit, bright cherry, good acidity, not a ton of oak, which is nice, especially with this side of things as well. With mussels and seafood, you don't want to go into too much oak. So there's your options.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with the Dr.
Heidelmann's Bergwalder.
Heidelmannsberg Hushfauer whatever.
Excellent.
Because you pronounce it so well, and I couldn't possibly do it as well as you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Now we've got our beautiful steamed organic mussels with Thai chili sauce. Look at that beautiful broth there with a little bit of coconut milk. Let's put a little bit on the top. A garnish with a little bit of fennel. Some of Karl's garlic bread. So let's go and meet Jeremy and Karl in the dining room and see what they think.
Okay. I always like to give the guest a little more. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see how these mussels taste.
Oh, they smell great.
Yeah, look. Look, one that has escaped its shell. I'm gonna grab it before it hops off the plate.
There you go. Oh. I love fennel and the chili.
Chili, all come right through it, yeah.
I've got to say, we grow great mussels in this
Absolutely,
province.
yeah.
Yeah.
We absolutely do.
Yeah, we're
Great
fortunate.
lobster too, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything in Newfoundland is great. And speaking of which,
Yep.
I would imagine that, since there's been this emphasis on farm to table dining,
Yep.
and you have to take a lot of the credit for kind of championing that here, we've probably created a whole new industry of people farming and producing pork and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of our biggest goals is to encourage people to grow more, and become more sustainable and to experience different products and grow different things. And we've noticed that over the last several years, more farmers growing, supporting them, paying them appropriately. And it's exciting times to be here in Newfoundland cooking because there's a lot of people, coming to the table with more products and
Right.
excited about what we're doing.
And they're not afraid to grow them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it all comes down to education, but people are out there growing new things and new techniques, and it's great. It's a wonderful feeling.
So, has there ever been a situation, for example, when you thought, geez, I'd like to have a particular vegetable grown locally? Have you ever approached a farmer and said, can you grow this for us?
Absolutely. I mean, we got several people that we deal with now, and every year we always have this list of new projects, and we're always trying new things, and sometimes they work like a charm. Like Mary grew some artichokes there a few years back. You'd see in California, and hey, they grew here beautifully. So
Wow.
it was like, wow, it's cool.
Like years ago, we wouldn't have even thought of growing an artichoke
No.
here because we would just automatically would have assumed impossible to grow that in Newfoundland.
Yeah, but the climate has changed here as well,
That's right,
and
yeah.
it's a lot of changes, and just being open-minded and trying new things, and I think that's half the battle, So it's great.
Yeah.
And a lot of young farmers too, a lot of people in there, and wanting to get their hands in the ground and start growing things, and we support them, and like many other restaurants, and it's a good time to be cooking.
And all you have to do is go to the farmers market when it's open, and you can kind of see that enthusiasm, because
Yeah.
it gets bigger every year.
Every year it's getting bigger, and it's something that St. John's is really embracing, and it's very, very important for the community, and
Sure is, yeah.
all the restaurants and
Yeah.
just people in general. It's
Yeah.
it's a wonderful thing.
How important is it to you in your cooking to make sure that food looks good? Presentation is that a big deal for you, or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you always want to make sure your plates are clean and immaculate, and they speak for themselves. I mean, we try not to focus too much on that, but I mean, it's always nice to have a beautiful, aesthetic-looking plate. And like we were talking about before, the food has changed and evolved, and we just try to keep it very simple and clean.
Now, just before we go, Jeremy, I know you're working on a Raymond's cookbook,
Yeah.
which is a very exciting project.
Very much
How's that been going?
It's been going pretty well. It's been a lot of work.
Oh,
It's a work in progress, isn't
It's
it?
a work in progress, and it's
Just
a big
wait till you
project.
get to the index. That's,
Can't wait.
Anyway, I look forward to the book, and Steve looks forward. We all look forward to the Raymond's cookbook, and all the best to you, Jeremy Charles. Thank you so much for being on the
Thanks
show.
for having me.
Cheers, Jeremy.
And we'll be back with another chef, Chef Mark McCrowe, who's going to be doing a seafood boil for us. So stay tuned.
Nice.
Yeah.
He won the gold medal at Gold Medal Plates St. John's, a very prestigious honor indeed. And we're very happy to welcome once again to One Chef One Critic, Chef Mark McCrowe.
Thanks for having me. Good to be back.
Welcome. So, you have laid on quite a spread here
Yes,
today.
yeah.
What are we doing?
We're doing something I like to do in the summertime, even if it's just a few friends. We're down at the beach, we start a fire, put a pot on, and just dump in all kinds of nice, fresh local seafood.
Excellent.
So
We've got our pot on.
Yeah, so we got a pot of boiling water here. I mean, you use seawater. This is just heavily salted water. Now, I like to throw in a nice big piece of butter. I mean, you
Sure.
don't need to. This
Yep.
is all. This whole thing is really whatever you like.
Yeah.
Like I got some Old Bay seasoning here. We're gonna put a fair bit of that. You could also use like a Cajun spice.
Oh yeah, just bring flavors through.
Yeah.
So, does this have salt and pepper in it as well?
That is fairly. I think the salt
Okay.
already in there.
Yeah.
I got some clams here. We're just gonna dump those right on in. Ooh.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
And we got some local mussels here. I'm just gonna get those in there. Watch your shirts, guys.
No worries. Used to it.
Again, I got some fresh corn. I lightly blanched this off earlier just
Sure,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
purposes of the segment.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, if you want to do it, you might want to put the corn in first to get it going
Right.
a little bit. So we got the corn going in. We got some baby potatoes. Again, I cooked these for a few minutes just to get them halfway going.
So those are the reds.
These are little baby reds, yeah. We'll get those in there. We got some kielbasa sausage.
Oh my goodness. A little bit of protein there,
Yeah,
perhaps.
it's going to flavor the seafood too, so.
Well, that's true. Yeah, exactly.
We got some,
I guess it would probably impart a bit of a smoky.
Yeah, totally.
Flavor? Yeah.
We got some periwinkles. These don't take long to cook. We'll throw those right in. We also have some local ice shrimp that are really
Yeah.
nice and
sweet.
Yeah, and these are already cooked, so
Yeah.
you can put those right in. They don't take too long. So,
So are most of these products easy to buy around town?
you can get all this stuff at like a local grocery store.
Excellent.
These are just some snow crab. They're
Yeah.
again, they're already cooked. So
Yeah.
we'll put that in and give it a couple minutes to come to a boil. And once the mussels and the clams
Yeah.
open, the whole dish is ready.
So
it's
you,
something.
you cover it up and you just wait for it to get to a
Yeah,
rolling
Just
boil,
like on the
I guess?
beach.
Yeah, just like on the beach.
Bring
yeah,
it on,
so-
right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
simple to do, and if you're, if you want to impress a group of people at a party
That's right.
outside,
Yeah.
it's always fun to do.
Yeah. Now we had some beer, we'd be all set.
He always thinks of the alcohol, this guy.
I want to give your book a plug because you have this beautiful cookbook which you produced. You did the recipes and Sasha Okshevsky did the
Yeah,
photos, I
yeah.
take it. It's called An Island Kitchen, an Ode to Newfoundland. So how's the book been doing?
Oh, it's doing great. We've sold a lot of copies, and Sasha is one of my sous chefs at the restaurant. He's also a
Is he?
photographer.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun putting it together. It's kind of a tribute to Newfoundland and Newfoundland ingredients and stuff.
Yeah, homemade style dishes.
Yeah.
Beautiful photography.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
really great.
photography
Really
is
great
quite
photography.
nice, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we're pretty proud of it.
Well, there
and,
you go.
It's doing really well.
It's a lovely little book. Hardcover too,
Yeah.
always nice. Okay. You say that this is something that you do in the summertime,
Yeah.
but I was just thinking, in the middle of winter, this is, if you want to kind of pretend it's summer.
Yeah, you can do it. Well, you can do it inside.
You can kind of do it inside.
Yeah, oh,
Put some
well,
sand in the basement,
yeah.
right? And
Well, just spread the newspaper out on
Yeah,
your kitchen table.
Totally, yeah.
You know?
And it's something you can eat with your hands too, so it's kind of fun,
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely, yeah.
it's a family thing, communal thing,
Yeah,
isn't
exactly,
it?
yeah.
Don't be
You
be
can
afraid of
even
it.
sit on the floor and spread, newspapers all
Yeah.
over the living room.
Yes, yeah.
Dump it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Now, this, I believe, it's Newfoundland in the sense that we're dealing with seafood and ingredients that we can get, but I think of Louisiana and New Orleans when I think of, of this particular
yeah.
dish.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Especially when you put some of the spice in
Yeah.
there. You
Yeah.
mentioned Cajun spice. You put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see a lot of those recipes down there that call for Old Bay.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of a cross between Louisiana and New England sort of clam
exactly.
make. Yeah.
Okay, so are we close to seeing if this is ready to go?
Let's just have a little look here now.
What we could do is just take a little bit out and put it on, just to give people a sense
Yeah,
of what
exactly, yeah.
what it would look like. Because
Okay, so we got,
Just in the essence of time.
there you
Absolutely.
go. Okay, see, so folks, that's what we're talking about. Very rustic, casual dining where everybody can come and get stuck in
yeah.
and take what they want, have a napkin, have a glass of beer, and just have a great time.
yeah.
Mark, thank you for being
Thanks
on the
for having me
program
here.
again.
Always
It's
a
been great
pleasure.
to have you, and that's it for this edition of
One chef.
One Critic.
Good.
Oh, that Old Bay is interesting.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well.
And it's a nice way to eat seafood. It's this is really simple. I mean, it's not masked. It's getting the flavor of what's in the pot.
It makes a nice little.
Yeah, it
broth.
makes a little broth. Yeah.
You remember that wonderful soup our friend Jane made for us the other day?
It was very good, wasn't it?
Well, I've just Would you like to see a?
Oh wait, I'm all found up.
What do you mean?
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't either. What?